If you're starting a clothing line or expanding your offering into printed apparel, in this video we break down what you need to know before buying a DTG printer to print your own products. I recently had a chance to spend a few days with Victor, the CEO of OmniPrint, which manufactures direct-to-garment printers, and we got the ins and outs of what it takes to be successful with this type of equipment. In a previous video, we covered what goes into running this operation, which you guys will find linked right up above. But in this video, we not only jump into the financial side of what you as an entrepreneur can make by printing with DTG, we also interview an entrepreneur who quit his 9-to-5 job to pursue the DTG printing industry and has invested his hard-earned money into starting his own business. We hope this video shines some light and helps you better understand what is involved with DTG so you can make the best investment decision for your brand and business. So if you're a new viewer of our content, hit that subscribe button located right down below to be alerted of future video drops. On this channel, we bring clarity to business and help entrepreneurs build brands that impact the world from the ground up. Let's start this video off by speaking to Victor on what it costs to print t-shirts yourself and realistically how many you can print per hour on a DTG printer such as the OmniPrint FreeJet 330TX Plus. This is oftentimes not discussed, guys, so get ready to take some notes and do some math to see if buying equipment like this actually makes sense for you.
So I want to make some assumption, guys. I like making things simple, especially math, right? So we're gonna start with like a $15 like street price for your shirts, right? So I don't recommend ever selling anything lower than that, really, just because you know, you got costs, you got everything there, so you want to make sure you do that. So if I'm thinking about, I have a retail price of 15 bucks. Customized apparel, you're looking at a all-in cost at around $5, right?
Victor, so does the $5 cost cover the t-shirt blank as well as the ink and pre-treatment costs? Is that like that's what you refer to as all-in cost, right?
Yeah, that includes pre-treatment, you know, any cleanings and stuff like that that's needed for your maintenance. That's all in. Typically a blank that's a decent blank, somewhere around $3. And your ink cost is below $1 on our machines, and then we're adding $1 of, you know, cleaner margin for pre-treatment, those kind of things, right? All right, $5 for cost. That's all in for my blank, and so that gives me 10 bucks to work with, right? And it's also a nice even number. And typically with our machines, and we like to talk about, you know, dark shirts, right? You normally have a blended orders when you get light shirts and dark shirts. But I like to talk about dark shirts because it's what's gonna take longest to produce, right? So let's say you do 12 shirts an hour, right? You're at 120 bucks that you're making of profit per hour. Because remember, we already took our cost off up here, right? So that's 120 bucks that you're making per hour when you're printing, right? So that's why I always tell people whenever that you're trying to invest in equipment, I want to make sure that you're at least able to do about 5 shirts a day, right? That way, that's giving you 50 bucks for the day. And assuming that you're working 20 days, that's you know, $1,000.
The math that Victor just shared breaks down a typical cost for printers who are using the direct-to-garment method for their designs. Remember, it's important to calculate the cost of ink. In this example, he averaged an order to run $5 per finished product. But don't forget that t-shirt blank costs can vary, as not every blank garment is made the same. They can range from pennies on the dollar to a couple of dollars depending on the quality of garment. In this example, Victor went with the $3 blank cost, which is a common price for a wholesale blank like Bella Canvas's 3001T. Wholesalers like Bella Canvas have a variety of options available to suit your printing needs, and we have included a link in the description right down below where you can check out their offering. Now that you know what costs you can expect to print a t-shirt, it's also important to discuss what labor would run to run your operations. This is one thing that is oftentimes never mentioned in DTG printer reviews. People like to show how much money they can make without showing you what it costs to make that money. So I think it's important that we cover it right now. As a business owner, you need to factor in the time it takes to make a product and set an hourly rate that you would pay someone else if you hired them to work for you. To come up with how much it costs in labor per finished product, you would divide the hourly rate you'd pay someone, in this example $15 per hour, divided by the number of shirts you can produce an hour. For this scenario, it works out to be $1.25 per shirt in labor cost. Now, the reason you want to factor this into your costs is because you should be focusing on growing the business, and that means hiring people to print for you. For this example, we rounded down to $5 all-in cost, including the labor, with a $10 profit to make the math easy to follow. But knowing your all-in printing cost is only half the battle, guys. The next thing you need to know is how profitable can you be with direct-to-garment printing after factoring in your equipment purchasing costs. Let's dive into that answer now.
I want to break this down super easy, right? So if I have a payment for my machine, my equipment, that's $550 a month, right? And I'm saying I'm making $10 on every shirt. Now I know that for my month, so I can cover, I gotta make 55 shirts, 20 working days, assuming you're not working the weekends. It's a little bit under 3 shirts, right? So I need 3 shirts a day, 3 a day, 3 orders a day to make sure that I got my payment covered. If you're starting up, it's fine, but you gotta realize I need to make sure that I'm prepping myself, I'm doing my samples, I'm putting my site up. While your equipment's on the way, make sure you have that up so you can start selling, right? You get your training and then you start selling, make sure you have your finances covered, right? So it's always super important to do your numbers, guys.
Now the statement he ended this piece with is crucial here, guys. You need to have a demand for the orders in order to meet at least 3 jobs per day to break even on the equipment cost alone, if you're working 20 days a month. That means that if you're not at the point of where you're selling at least 3 garments per day on your own through your own e-commerce website, then you should create a demand before making an investment into equipment like this. On the flip side, if your orders have already surpassed the capability of one machine and you find yourself not being able to print all your orders in one day, you should highly consider investing into a second machine to help you become efficient and profitable. Ways to improve your efficiency with print on demand include pre-treating your blanks and storing them away so you can keep the printers running every single minute of every single hour. The goal to becoming profitable with direct-to-garment printing is to become efficient in your operation. The more you can print per hour, the more you can make per day, and ultimately, the more you can profit per year. OmniPrint also has options such as a cheetah for print shop owners who are producing thousands of garments per week. This has a completely different cost, but if the order volume is there, it's an option that's worth exploring. Now, with any piece of technology, there are learning curves, guys. The machine doesn't do everything for you. There are a variety of factors that go into operating a direct-to-garment business, from the pre-treat to the garments you select and the artwork that you have and the customers that you work with. For this reason, I wanted to introduce you guys to Gabriel, who is the co-owner of Gush Apparel, and he agreed to share his experience in owning an OmniPrint printer. He shares the reality and true cost of running a DTG business, from leaving a 6-figure job as an operations manager to starting a print-on-demand business. He shares the truth about the journey into entrepreneurship.
Hi guys, I'm Gabriel Lapera. I'm one of the owners of Gush Apparel. I want to welcome you guys and show you a little bit about our operation. So I feel that the heart of any business is your great customers, but the brain of it is this bad boy right here, our OmniPrint FreeJet 330TX. This is how we're able to achieve, the beautiful prints that we're able to achieve. Now, what runs this bad boy, which is in essence the command center, is what's called the RIP software. This software is provided by OmniPrint, and here in essence in this command center, there's so many things that you can manipulate, from size of the print, color strength, placement of the print. Now, other tools that we use that don't necessarily run the printer but are needed to be able to do your job is a heat press and a pre-treat machine. Now the heat press, which is also provided in your package from OmniPrint when you purchase a machine, is the Stahl's heat press. Now this is needed not only to dry your pre-treat, pre-treat is what you have to put on the shirt in order for the color to actually adhere when you're infusing it into the garment. And you also need it when you're curing, when you're done printing, and making sure now that the design's set into the shirt. Now, let me show you guys some of examples of the finished product of the beautiful prints that you can achieve with this machine. Now, one thing I've gotten into more and more lately, I like color coordinating a lot of things, right? So lately we've been getting into a lot of combining designs to match people's kicks. So we're probably now on our 5th version of different kicks that we're matching for people with the designs that they want. Another thing I like printing a lot, I believe a lot in positive mind and positive thoughts, is positive type quotes here on this long sleeve camo We have where it says a positive mind and a steady grind until something happens. I truly believe that. In terms of how long the garments take, it could range anywhere from 45 seconds to about 7 minutes, depending if it has a lot of detail on the actual design. I got into this business and I knew zero about it. I had never done it. I had never worked at a print shop. I would not recommend you to do that, but that pretty much falls in line with everything I've ever done in my life. Really, at the time, I was a VP of operations and I was making 6 figures, and most who knew me would have kind of thought, you should be happy, you never went to college, you barely made it out of high school. So to get to where I had gotten, I should have just kind of like been happy with the money and I guess the position and of what I had achieved. But honestly, I'd been at that point about 13 years in being in operations management, and I was no longer fulfilled. It's not what I wanted to do anymore. So I had just recently married my best friend Cindy, right? So I'd been maybe a few weeks into marriage, and I tell her that I no longer want to do this, that I want to quit my job, and not only quit my job, I was doing something that I had never done before, which is quit my job without having another one lined up. I have no idea how she ended up saying yes, but she had my back, and we did it. I quit. Now my initial plan was I'm gonna quit, take a break, and kind of get back into operations. I just needed a break. While I was on that break, I started Googling businesses you can do from your home. In doing so, I came across printing videos, screen printing videos, and then I actually ran into one of John's videos with OmniPrint on DTG printing. Started doing some research. I was very intrigued by the process. Everything I've ever done work-wise has pretty much been how I just explained, which is I knew zero in whatever I was getting into, but the one big difference now is I was going to get into something that I didn't know, with not making any money in the beginning and trying to figure it out as I went, plus on top of everything else, investing into DTG printing and machinery for it is a bit costly. So now I have to go to that same wife and tell her, hey, what do you think about me taking the last of the money that we have and investing it into these machines so I could do this from home? Now, at the same time, I was also having a conversation with my childhood friend, Brandon Gomez, and I guess, like Cindy, they both believed in my work ethic, that when I put my time and energy into something, I'm relentless. And so he said to me, what about I become your partner and I help you with the financial burden? And just like that, between the conversation with my wife and my partner, Gush was born. Now, obviously, even though Gush was born, the owner of Gush knew nothing about the business, knew nothing about apparel printing. Now, the one thing I feel blessed is that I made the decision to start with DTG. And the reason I say that is I've had the opportunity to work in screen printing a bit. And to me, the learning curve in learning, let's say, screen printing versus DTG is much smaller. There's way more steps in screen printing. It's just, to me, it's more difficult. So the fact that I was able to learn quicker, I think, was a big advantage in me choosing DTG. But not only that, again, since I knew nothing, I didn't have any clients lined up. I didn't have any big commercial contracts. So I think that's another thing where DTG helps, where DTG allows you to do a print of a single shirt, where you can't do that with screen printing. It is not cost effective. There's too many steps involved. So that's why usually screen printers have the kind of minimums that they have. So with DTG allowing me to do, whether it be a single shirt or until I built up for bigger clients, that flexibility of doing the smaller count runs is also a blessing, because you're able to do one-offs until you start getting your name out there. Now, something else that I'd like to touch on, I think here we're discussing a lot of like good points and benefits of DTG printing. I would be doing it a disservice if I didn't speak on maybe some of the bad, like hurdles or stuff that's frustrated me along the way. And I think that's beneficial because I know someone may see this video that was me 2.5 years ago, and it would have been real helpful to come across more videos of the things that can go wrong or things you need to learn. So for example, a person like me who knew nothing about this industry and had to learn everything. And I'm not talking about just printing. I'm talking about how to incorporate, if you're gonna have an online store, how to create your online store, how to market and get clients. I did mostly all my research, on YouTube. And thank God, many of the videos that I used were John's videos, because he doesn't just talk about DTG printing. He kind of discusses all the things you need to start a business. So, and not only his videos, but his From the Ground Up Academy have been instrumental in helping me along the way, as well as, Victor has a lot of good one-on-one creators, podcasts, trainings with OmniPrint that obviously helped me as well learn the aspect of the printing part. So if you're thinking about doing this, I would say the first thing is research everything involved to start your business. But then on top of that, once you have that all written down, what parts of that you know and what you don't, and then start researching the parts that you don't know how to do. And again, reach out to these sources like John or to Victor or what I call YouTube University, and maybe even seek out a mentor. Maybe finding someone local to you and that can help you along the way where you could learn from their mistakes. I think that would be a very beneficial asset, and this way they could help you avoid wasting the amount of time and money that I did along the way making my mistakes.
To summarize and help you in your decision making, the key takeaway in this video is do not buy equipment to start a direct-to-garment business unless you are fully ready to go all in and have the patience and the perseverance to live this out despite the hurdles that will come your way. If this isn't you, then you should consider outsourcing your job to people like Gabriel with Gush Apparel, who is linked in the descriptions down below. Print shops like Gabriel are here to assist entrepreneurs to start and grow their brands, and they have the patience to get the job right so you could focus on designing and marketing your brand. And if you're beyond the step of starting and you want to grow by actually making your own products, then check out the direct-to-garment printers that is offered by OmniPrint in the links down in the descriptions down below. They create products to help entrepreneurs win in this industry, and I personally enjoyed my time at the OmniPrint headquarters, and I learned a lot about operations from the man Victor Pena during that trip. They are on a growth trajectory and have some exciting product lines to be on the lookout for, but more than anything, he taught me that having patience and a strong vision for the future is what is needed to continue to succeed. For that, I am super grateful for, and I know that you guys are in good hands if you decide to start a DTG printing business with their equipment. And if you'd like to learn more about the apparel industry in general, check out the series we created called From the Ground Up, linked in the cards here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.